Hello, dear friends. I welcome everyone who is watching Sotnik-TV. Today is July 1st, 2020. It's 8 p.m. in Moscow, we are streaming live, and our Wednesday news show is about to begin. It's a pleasure to introduce today's guest, Andrei Gavrilov, a world-famous pianist, conductor, musician, and my good friend. Hello, Andrei. Can you hear me? Hello, Alexander. Hello, dear friends. Yes, I can hear you. Here's the first question from our viewer. It's a pity to see Russia going straight to hell. I wish I could do something to prevent this. There are people who stay outside of Russia but care about it. What can those people do to make our no-good country better? Such a tough question right away. One needs to change their mind and stop seeing people as propaganda stereotypes, since they put intellectual people in the shadows, making them sad and even depressed. One doesn't need to pay attention to generalizations of people. That is a weapon of manipulators. One needs to help Russia with their patient outreach work without expecting any fast results or understanding everything. It takes time for people to begin accepting anything new. Education and culture are the things required to improve any situation in the world. A time of physical suffering is coming due to the sad situation and the current regime in Russia. So one needs to provide material support. Let's move to our first topic. As you know, the voting for amending the constitution in Russia has been going on for 7 days now. Despite how they voted, can the citizens who took part in this mess be called criminals? They became a part of this capital crime to take over the state. Does this matter at all? The country has finally been turned into a fascist state, and there's no use crying over spilt milk. This state has been functioning outside the law after it was captured by terrorists 103 years ago. Starting in February 1917, everything that's been going on here is banditry that led to hundreds of millions of deaths all over the world. Still, there are people living in modern Russia. What should they do? How do they live with all of this? It's not even worth discussing. The whole problem is surreal. It's one folly on top of another. There are 140 million idiots involved in this surreality, and it has turned into an unreal and stupid phantom. It's impossible to discuss law, as there is no law in Russia. There are no citizens there. All of the people have been mentally twisted. Russian citizens have been insane for over 100 years. The people got used to living among a surreal non-existence. There are some surreal insane phantoms who take part in all this, and now they're a part of a real crime. That's the reality of an insane phantom country that has nothing to do with real people's lives for over a century. What can be done? I think that the only option left is a nationwide strike. People need to get back to a constitutional assembly and go back to the point when this surreal criminal mess began with a whole lot of blood. That's it. A nationwide strike, you say? But how can this be conducted when the vast majority of the citizens have been involved and voted? They support the ongoing policy. They cast their votes to reset Vladimir Putin's presidential term and to amend the constitution. How can they revolt after all they have done? Shouldn't they now keep it quiet inside their homes? Such charges are irrational and can't be filed against the people who have been turned into hostages. Every person living in that territory is a hostage and can't be accused of any wrongdoing he has done there. If they receive an order to kill people, they will obey it. Even if ordered to start eating babies for breakfast, they will eat babies. We're looking into a surrealistic territory, with people turned into phantoms. It's difficult to realize the truth, and I understand that your mind doesn't want to accept it. Still, when looking into such a sick and surreal situation, that could be a story by Kafka, you need to separate yourself from it. This is a tense situation of a mind clashing with total madness. Take care of your senses by drawing a clear line, which you won't cross to get closer to this anomaly. Don't try to relate with them. This is the important advice from a musician. Don't do this. Here's the question from another viewer. Let me rephrase it a little. What is your take on the ongoing unrest in developed countries after an African American was killed in the US? I guess the viewer means George Floyd, of course. His death served a reason for riots all over the world. So, what do you think? I can see that an old era is about to be replaced with a new one. The murder of a black man triggered mass rioting, but it has little to do with what's going on now. Even the Black Lives Matter movement doesn't reflect the full scale of problems that have accumulated in the world. Just like the assassination in Sarajevo had little to do with the two world wars that followed it. Accidents that trigger such global events may be tragic comedies or pitiful compared to the aftermath. First, a cultural revolution of a new generation begins. It will take caricature forms just like any other cultural revolution of the youth. This process is managed by artists and manipulating the truth as always. Still, it's too soon to evaluate this massive issue. On the other hand, there is an unconscious right of humanity against the obsolete socio-economic policy. People are fed up. Everything happens as it always does at the end of an age. The lower classes clash with the upper class. The underlying dark layers of human psychology will rise up, seeking catharsis. As long as this shift in history doesn't trigger World War III, those processes are absolutely natural for everyone. I like such changes as those mean progress, no matter how chaotic and how bloody they are. I hope there will be less blood this time as people get wiser as civilization evolves. If we take a closer look, we'll see a huge number of problems that the US has accumulated. The entire civilization of a white, self-satisfied man is now over. There's nothing that can be done to save it, and I thank God for this. Still, we need to see what age is replacing the old one. So let's not jump to conclusions. Here's another viewer's question. The situation in Russia is clear. The only thing that a totalitarian state is able to do is fool its own people and stifle freedom. However, the rest of the world is obviously moving away from democracy as well. Freedoms are scaled back and replaced with tyranny from Hong Kong to Venezuela. As it used to happen back in the day, liberal democracy backs down and plays along with dictators who are now corrupting the Western democratic governments. I'd like to hear Mr. Gavrilov's take on this matter. Generally speaking, I'm not being pessimistic about the situation. I look at the ongoing events with optimism. What I see is a battle between the unconscious and conscious mind inside each person. No matter how long and fierce this battle is, only conscious people have a future. From the materialistic perspective, a lot of countries have now reached a paradise level of existence, if compared to their ancestors. The way we live now is totally different from the one of our grandparents. It's apples and oranges. That's exactly what is going to happen to people's spiritual levels, as well as to our social-political lives. I see no other options, and so does mankind. People simply don't want any other choice. No one is looking for hell, but rather for heaven, and people will find what they're looking for. So I see everything that's on now as a fight between an unconscious and conscious mind. An obsolete unconscious is fighting against modern minds. More and more masses that always used to be cold and dark rise from the bottom with each new generation. Such mixing is always on, which usually makes us feel frustrated and brings pain. As a matter of fact, this is a positive process. So never say die. We now live at the best times mankind has ever known. That's what I'm talking about. Take care.